Hi, I'm Jessie, and for today's video, we'll be discussing stay interviews. What are stay interviews? Stay interviews are conducted to help business owners and managers understand why employees stay and what might cause them to leave. Let's discuss the benefits of stay interviews. One of the top reasons is reducing turnover. So data suggests that the reason employers quit is that they don't trust their managers. Stay interviews are the best trust-building activity. Creating a dialogue between managers and employee impacts turnover. Studies show, and I'll link one down below, that it costs an average of $4,000 to hire a new employee, and the cost of replacing a highly trained employee can cost nearly double their annual salary. Second, measuring job satisfaction. When employees feel heard, they're more often satisfied with their job and are much more engaged in the company culture. Utilizing stay interviews helps you determine if the employee is satisfied in their job or not. Another benefit is finding out what works. During stay interviews, you can find out that you're wasting time on procedures that just don't work and your employees aren't happy with. Maybe you have other processes or procedures that your employees would be more engaged in. Find out where people stand, make changes, and increase everyone's productivity. Stay interviews can also help set realistic expectations. The employee can communicate what they feel is a realistic change or benefit they'd like to have, and as the employer, you can also communicate what the company can reasonably do. And also building and maintaining dialogue. Use this as an opportunity to create and maintain an open line of communication with your employees. Now let's move forward with how often should you do stay interviews. Frequency of stay interviews. Hint, you don't want to do it on the employee's last day. That's too late. Don't wait for the exit interview. Stay interviews are supposed to happen well before that time. If you're having a new hire start, you want to check in with them and do a stay interview the first 3 to 6 months. When the new hire's ramped up with their training, you want to check in, get a pulse on how they're doing, what changes need to be done. After that, you can move stay interviews to on an annual basis. In addition to on an annual basis, if you have a major change in your company, such as change in ownership or management, you restructured the entire company, that's also a good time to conduct stay interviews with your employees. Now, what are some guidelines to follow? Be transparent about the purpose of the stay interview. Communicate why you conducting the interview and also what you can and can't reasonably accommodate. Another thing to keep in mind is these stay interviews are different from performance reviews. You want to conduct them separately, and you don't want any performance review to influence this information you gain from the stay interview. Be open to feedback. You should be prepared that not every single thing the employee says will be positive. There might be some constructive criticism, and build off that to make worthwhile changes to your company. Remember that your goal of the stay interview is to create an open dialogue with your employees to obtain honest feedback. After the stay interview is complete, it doesn't stop there. Remember to give timelines and follow through. Set a date and stick with it. Follow up and address any concerns that are shared. For instance, if the employee expresses that they're unhappy with their compensation, notify them that you'll discuss this with the management team and follow up with them in a week's time frame. Now, what are some things that you shouldn't do in stay interviews? Be specific on the type of questions you ask. Don't ask closed-ended questions with yes or no answers. Ask questions that will engage your employees, and we'll provide some examples at the end of this video. Remember to keep the information private and not share confidential information. Another thing is don't react poorly to honest answers and get super defensive about it. Sometimes honest answers are difficult to hear. Take the time to appreciate that the employee was willing to share this information with you and follow up to address any concerns. Try not to send questions in advance. You want the answers to be honest and unscripted. Right. Finally, here are some example questions. First, what work are you doing here that you feel is most in line with your long-term goals? This question helps determine if the employee feels like they're on the right path. If you have an employee that struggles to answer this question, perhaps they view this job as just short-term and temporary rather than a long career with your company. Another question is, what do you need from the company to set you up to be successful? This gives the employee the opportunity to speak up on what the company could change, what support the company could give the employee. Are there additional training opportunities that would help them expand their skill set? Or do they need to meet one-on-one more with their manager? Is there anything that the leadership team could be doing differently? This question helps us understand what could have been done differently since the employee start date. How is their experience with their manager and the executive team? Do you feel challenged? Are you learning new things? These questions help gauge if the employee is bored in their work or is excited about the challenges they're facing. The employee may feel like they've learned everything in their job. Are they content with where they're at, or do they want to receive training and move in a different direction? What area of the company would you like to learn more about? This is an important question, especially for an entry-level role. Maybe the employee wants to shadow another position, someone in the sales department or accounting department. Now, it's not a guarantee that the employee will be just immediately transferred into another position, but it's important to address their curiosity and see if they could be a fit elsewhere, and also if there is an opportunity available. You can finish up with, when was the last time you thought about leaving us, and what prompted it? This addresses any second thoughts the employee has about staying employed with your company. Was it a bad day? Was it a toxic environment that led them to start applying for jobs? Maybe an unhappy experience with their direct manager? It's important to address any concerns if the employee has one. So if you haven't done stay interviews or need help getting started, feel free to reach out to us at Recruit for Business. Thanks for watching our video, and remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.